What's up, Coffee Cuba fans? This has been long overdue. This is a Robbins and Meyer fan. Springfield, Ohio. AC or DC? I have no idea what year this is. Looks like either my father or grandfather who had this fan. I used to use it growing up as a kid in the 70s, maybe even the 80s. And I always kind of loved it, was nostalgic about it. But when my mother passed away a few years ago and we cleaned out the house, I only grabbed a few things that, she had a shitload of stuff. But I always liked the stuff that came from my grandfather, who was an immigrant from the Czech Republic, and I don't know, they always had all kinds of cool things and they never threw things out. So anything electronic I absconded with. It must be a replacement cord because on this side there's still a cloth cord. And I threw this tape around here when I grabbed it from the house because somehow these brushes popped out, probably because the cap rotted. Brushes still seem fine. I probably should have paid attention to the direction I took them out. I'm not real sure yet how they make connection. This must be a universal motor because it runs on AC or DC. And the windings are in such a way that it always spins in the same direction as long as you hook up the rotor properly and don't switch the wiring. But I'm a little unclear how at this point, until I take it apart, what this other side of the spring connects to. And look at that. Are they copper springs? So I'm doing this outside today. So the wind blows everything off into the cracks of the deck, but no, not really. Petey wanted to sit outside, so he's gonna chill over there, and I'm just gonna start digging into this. I just slopped on this electrical tape, like I said. Probably not the best thing to do, but when you're in the middle of cleaning out houses and stuff. Let's see if I can peel this off without leaving a bunch of gum behind and losing this other brush. Uh-oh. Le Funguye. Hopefully it's still in there. Let's see if it drops out. Oh, there we go. So there's the other brush. And I was concerned, preparing in advance, like, where am I going to find brushes? But they're all over Amazon for modern day drills and stuff. So that's got a nice wear mark, well worn to the brush, the rotor, copper. Come on, focus. No good. Come on, baby. Piece of shit phone. There we go. Let me pause this a sec. I'm gonna put this back in the spring. One sec. Yeah, so I don't know. It doesn't look like I need new brushes, but whatever was holding them in was some kind of rubber cap. It looks like it was glued on. So I don't know. The fan doesn't spin, and from what I've seen, all this grease in here gets old and decayed, and I'm gonna try to take this thing apart so I can start cleaning it. I don't know if I want to paint it or just wipe it down. It's not. I have another one at home. It's a Signal Electric cold spot It's also an AC or DC fan, but at a quick look, it didn't have brushes, so I'm gonna have to figure out how that would work. Let me see if I can start loosening the cage, the fan blade, and we'll take it from there. Hold on. Yeah, the cage is coming off like candy. It was almost as if somebody has had these off before. I just want to be real careful here not to drop these screws. It's impossible to do this while filming. Well, the screw's already out, but it's like in the housing of the cage. And here's where I drop all the screws down the hole in the deck. Let me be very careful here. There's 1, 2. Oh, they all, look at that. In fact, it also swivels on here. Let me go ahead and grab those before I lose them all. They should clean up nice. And those screws it looks like somebody put a honk on them once. They're all the slots are pretty good, pretty gouged. I don't know why that would be. I don't know how this will polish up. It's just got a, oh, they call it patina, but I don't know. I don't know how I touch that up or polish it or wire brush it or steel wool it. If you got any ideas, let me know. I'll put this cage aside. This fan blade looks pretty easy to get off too. I wonder who's that screw's also pretty loose. This should not be, this is all original. There shouldn't be any missing parts or anything broken or not taken care of properly, because if one thing my father did was he took care of shit. Let's get a bigger screw head in there, flathead. Yeah, it's coming off nice. It was. It's just long enough that it's not easy enough. Jeez, how long is that thing? There we go. Little. And here's the fan again. It's like, it's got that rust spot on it. Is that even a, could this be a brass blade? No, why would it rust if it was brass? That's not brass, just the fitting is. Brass doesn't do that. All right, the fun parts. Well, the felt liner's shot. But unlike some of the ones I saw online, there is a bottom plate on this. A lot of them I've seen are wide open to, so maybe this is later than the 20s like I originally thought it was. But I don't know. There's a model number on here, a list number. Maybe that'll... Okay. What should I do next? Let's see if we can't take off that base. Okay, there were 3 screws holding this base. Very short, tiny ones. The kind I don't want to show too much of before I drop them. And I'm taking this off live on camera for the first time, even though I got them loose. Here we go. Gotta slide it around this switch. And there's probably a cord in there holding me up. What is going on? Come on, Papa. Come to Papa. Is the cord just... Can I feed... Oh, let me feed that head cord in. There we go. Give that some slack. The switch is not making this easy. Oh. Well, that's a bit of a mess. I'm hesitant to go cutting any wires yet. Oh, look. There's one of them there rubber grommets. Hold on, let me get this off the stand. Here's one of those, that's a rubber grommet strain relief. Maybe that was still in the hole and that's what was holding it up. Surprised it didn't just break into a million pieces. It is crusty. But this is concerning. Well, how long has this been in here? That's gonna require some cleanup. Look at this. Nice stud mounted wires. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these wires. I'll figure out which direction it spins later. Yes, so what's going on here? There's a big ceramic insulating block, a switch. Here's 4 more screws. 1, 2, maybe 3 more screws that go to the plate. You can see them there. And some seeds and what looks like some molten crap there. Is that a capacitor? Is that some kind of ceramic capacitor? What the hell is this? Oh, it's not even that well. This may be a multi-part evolution here because this is odd. I was looking into these Robin Myers fans before I started digging in just to like get some hints, and I don't remember seeing anything like this. It's a DC AC unit, so it tells me that's a universal motor, which means you don't need a starting capacitor. Is this just some... But it is wired. I may need some help on this, guys. Hold on. Let me see what I want to do with this next. Caca. So the wipers look pretty good. There's a nice spring in there. I mean, yeah, it could use some cleaning up, but it's not like it's worn beyond all recognition here. And why you don't get shocked when you turn that switch, I don't know. I guess you're not a good enough ground path to... I still don't know what this is. It is crunchy. And I don't want to go taking it off or cleaning it up yet because it's got these little So I'm going to set this aside for a second and wait for some help or do some more research. All right. Now what fun can we have? Well, it looks like there's an oiler wick on here. On the front. And this grease bin in the back. I don't see any other oil wick on the back. So, let's see if we can take this, where do we start? Let's see if we can get this rotor housing off. Actually, I started with the wick. There's some, I don't know if that'll clean up. It feels kind of like it might. God knows if that was ever filled. But let's see if I can clean that up at some point. And let's get these 4 screws off the back. So even those screws were really loose. I'm surprised every screw on here hasn't backed out over the years and fallen into the... Uh-oh, what's going on here? So I'm trying to pull this out. And yep, it's a universal motor, but there's also wires attached to the brush locations. So how do I be very careful about this? It looks like the bottom of those brushes might pull out. So that I can free this back assembly, plus this oscillating link is not allowing me to pull that off. So let me give this a few more seconds of thought. Well, I'm in deep now. I decided to cut the brush wires because there's no way I can get this housing off, and some of these wires are pretty delicate, it looks like, so I don't know where that's going to get me. This one here looks delicate. Somebody was in here before me because I found all this old electrical tape around the brush wires. So somebody had done some repair. So I labeled the brushes 1B and 2B just so I don't mix them up later. 1B and 2B, not that won't all wash out when I clean this off and I can figure it out later, but like just maybe to save me some time thinking. And I almost lost this bearing, and there's even a little washer there too on top of it. That I saw sitting here when I came back from getting the permanent marker. So that was almost a disaster. Hope I didn't lose any other ones. I'm gonna have to start taking inventory here so I don't forget whenever I get back to fixing this, if I ever do. All right, got a mystery over here, got some work to do here, and let's see if we can, I don't know how much I can disassemble this, but I guess we'll find out shortly here. Well, I don't know how smart that was, but, well, first of all, I took off the base from the oscillator. I smacked this end of the rotor on a wood plank. I thought it was going to pull right out, but it needed some force. So I tapped it out, and then I pulled the rest of it out by hand and turning it. So I don't think I damaged it in any way, but I was just surprised how tight it was. And then somebody's gonna have to help me. This was on the front edge, and there's this little metal washer and a fiber washer, and I don't know if the metal goes first. I don't know if the metal's supposed to be closest to the rotor and this closer to the stator housing, or the other way around. And same on this end. I realized this grommet had 2 washers, and they were both on the same side, and I just didn't notice them. And there again, I don't know if the washers go up against the rotor and this sits in the rear housing or the front housing, whatever. So if somebody could help me, like, does a washer go in there? Because I kind of lost track of which side. There was two washers right next to each other, that much I know. It wasn't like there was one washer on this side, one washer on that side. So at any rate, here's the rotor, and it is a universal motor. I don't know to what extent I can clean this up or want to clean it up. Doesn't look like anything's damaged. And the stator, it's pretty sealed in there. So the only thing I might have a problem with is these wires are sus, and I don't want to mess with them to the point where they break off. So the only thing left to do as far as disassembly is this grease bucket here. So what I'm gonna do is take a pause, and before I get everything here all greasy, I'm gonna collect up all these screws and put this rotor somewhere safe so the washers don't fall off. If you can let me know, like, which side are the metal washers are. I'm thinking they're on the inside, consistent. Because I believe that one was on the inside facing the rotor, and I want to say this one was as well. But the next step is getting this baby off and deciding how I'm going to clean this. So let me get organized, and we'll have to pick up this video another time. Thanks for checking it out.